and welcome to this webinar on teaching and supporting children and teens with special needs in an inclusive classroom. My name is Indranee. Please do not confuse. The speaker is Indranee. I am actually Indranee, but you can call me Indi. And I'm the General Secretary of the Teachers Christian Fellowship of Malaysia. I will be your moderator for this webinar. A little bit about TCF. The Teachers Christian Fellowship was formed in 1961 with the aim of encouraging and equipping Christian educators in our calling. And right now, there are about 67 of us at this webinar. Now, we will have a photo session at 4 p.m. We have specially allotted about an hour for Q&A because we noticed that at the previous webinars, many of you have gone, and Indranee Liew is ever ready to try to answer your queries. So we will allocate about an hour at about 4 p.m. We take photo session. Then I will do a little bit of announcement. Some of you may want to go for toilet break and make a cup of coffee. You are most welcome to do so. So at about 4:10 sharp, we will come back for the Q&A. And there's also a feedback link in the chat, and we value your feedback because your feedback will help us to organize future webinars. So do remember to fill in the feedback form. Now, regarding a little bit about the speaker for this afternoon. TCF Malaysia is really privileged to have Datin Indranee Liew give us this webinar this afternoon. She has 32 years of teaching experience, teaching in Malaysia, as well as having taught in England. Her experience teaching in England developed her passion to train teachers in positive teaching strategies and classroom behavior management. As she is trained in special education, Datin Indranee also works with students on behavior and learning strategies to enable them to function in inclusive classrooms. Datin Indranee is also very active in community work pertaining to mental health and education. So ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, let us now welcome Datin Indranee. Datin Indranee, over to you.
Thank you, Indy, and welcome everybody. I was looking at the chat and I can see that there are a number of teachers who are saying that they've got special needs children in their... Am I unmuted now? Yes. Okay, I was saying that in the WhatsApp, I noticed some messages from teachers saying that they've got children with special needs they are teaching. It is sad, but a number of pupils with special needs in regular schools is increasing. We are having more ADD, ADHD. We are having more emotional and behavioral difficulties, and we are having more children with autism. Okay, and what happens in Malaysia is that the teachers in regular schools have not received training on how to manage these children with special needs. And we call them children with special needs because they need to be managed in a special, a different way. So I know teachers are actually trying their best, but they find it so difficult, all right, to manage 1 or 2 special needs children in their class, and then there are the other students who are regular students, and you suddenly discover that in one period, you end up spending 1/3 of the time with the regular children and like almost 2/3 of the time on the child with special needs. And I hope that through this talk, you will understand them a little bit better, and then I will be, all right, sharing techniques, how to manage these children in your classroom. I have to say that I am very, very pleased that there are so many of you who care. You care enough about your students, right, who have special needs, that you are actually here to try to learn and help them. Just to keep you up to date, what's happening is that what has happened over the past few years is children with special needs have a new name. Children with or teenagers with special needs are now called neurodiverse. Neuro is brain, diverse is many. Neurodiverse children. That is now their name, neurodiverse. So if you do, all right, hear or you read somewhere neurodiverse, it means children with special needs. Why? Because unfortunately, even here in Malaysia, when you talk about children with special needs, what happens? People immediately think, aha, intellectual difficulty, low IQ. And then what happens? What it means is that the phrase special children with special needs has become a negative phrase. So now they've changed it to neurodiverse. All right. Like Indy said, I will try and finish this as quickly by 3:45. Then we'll have a break, then 1 hour of question and answers. And I will be sharing both my PowerPoints with you afterwards. All right. So don't have to take notes. Listen and figure out what questions you would like to ask. I always welcome questions because it means that you want to learn. So I tell my students, if you don't ask questions, then I feel a bit worried that I will ask you questions to see whether you are actually learning. So there's no such things as stupid questions there. You just want to learn. Let me share my screen. Right. This PowerPoint, all right, I found online, and I am showing it to you with the name of the person who created it. This is created by the Texas Jabatan Pendidikan. So the education of children with special needs, human growth and development. Right. Those of you who have had children, or those of you who have studied education psychology and all that, will know about early childhood development. There are certain milestones that they must reach. By 3 months, the child can turn the head towards the sound. By 6 months, can play peekaboo, beep. Hi. The peekaboo, they go, very cute. All right. So by about a year old, they start to hold on to furniture to try to stand up and all that. Now, it is very important that the child actually can do these things at the age they're supposed to do it. Because if a child cannot, then for someone like my husband, who's a child and adolescent psychiatrist, and from me, I do special education, then in my brain, ding, 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 you have in my brain. Why? One of the early signs of children having special needs is inability to meet these developmental milestones. Example, is it normal if a child of 1 year old doesn't make sound, doesn't do anything, but will walk and all that? Oh, the child is 1 year old. Are you maybe a little bit concerned, or are you very worried? Most probably little bit concerned. Then 2 years old, still not talking. Now you worried? Now you're worried. Okay? 3 years old, not talking. Okay. So what happens is that you need to check so that you can tell, hey, my child is 2 years old, not talking. That means not telling, not able to say mama, milk, cannot say one word. All right. That is when, all right, the parents should take the child to see a pediatrician or a child psychiatrist. Okay. Be careful. All right. Let me tell you a story. This was my husband's case. There was this child, okay, who was looked after the Indonesian maid, and the child was every day put in front of the bouncy net, right in front of the TV, bouncy net there, whole day, while the maid will go do stuff. So the maid is going in feeds. Okay. Now, then the parents had to leave because of some business. Actually, basically, they were being chased by along, money that they borrowed for their business. So this child was then looked after by the mother's auntie. By that time, she was about 2 years old. Then the auntie noticed that this girl can make some sound, doesn't talk, not a single word. So she got worried. Okay, why? If you see a child normal, the body is normal, can walk and all that, doesn't speak by 2.5 years old, one thing that educated, that means the parents have been made aware of all these developmental milestones, possibility is very high that the child has autism. Okay, not speaking is one of the main symptoms of autism. Another symptom is no eye contact. Okay, a third symptom is a bit strange in the way they play. So this auntie brought the child to see Dr. Lai, and Dr. Lai, all right, took very detailed history. Then if you have a 2.5 cannot speak, and all that, a doctor may actually the diagnosis is autism. Now, Dr. Lai did not do that. He told the aunt, I will leave the diagnosis open. Instead, I will write you a letter to take this child to go to speech therapy. Come back and see me in 3 months. What do you think happened when the child came back in 3 months? Starting to talk already. You see, what happens is this, very interesting. You put the babies and toddlers in front of the TV, they will be what? Wow, so attracted, they don't know what is happening. So they don't make noise, they don't cry, they don't disturb. But they won't talk. Because it's just the vision and the hearing. All right, this doesn't move. And if this doesn't open, you don't practice R sounds and all that, you cannot talk. So what do we do with children? You're encouraging to talk. All right, what do you do? Hello, and you say that, hello, and then the baby will say, oh, very good. That's what you need, and that was what the baby didn't have. But once he had speech therapy, the speech therapist taught the auntie some exercises to do with the child. Okay, and in about like a year's time, she was like normal. I'm gonna ask you this: what if, all right, the parents don't recognize the symptom, and by 5 years old, masuk kindergarten, then the teacher says, does your son talk at home? Oh no, he's very quiet. All right, then how does he tell you he wants things? Or he will pull us there, or he will cry until we bring him the right thing. Okay, so now you send this child, 5 years old, no speech. Now you send this child to speech therapy. Just now that baby was 2.5, started speech therapy within a year already, quite okay, Then after 1.5 years, almost like normal. She managed to catch up. 5-year-old boy, macam mana? It will take a longer time, isn't it, for what we call the intervention, the speech therapy in order to work. So this boy who is 5 years old, all right, he's going to get very irritated because he's in kindergarten and he cannot communicate with the children, his classmates. Then he gets in trouble. You know what happened? He will go and, all right, another child, and then the child will complain that he, all right, has been hitting him. Okay, and then if the teacher doesn't find out what's happening, the teacher will scold the boy and punish him. Then he'll get very upset. Okay, then it turns into offensive behavior or aggressive behavior. But this boy will need a few years of speech therapy to catch up, because, all right, he was taken or he was sent to speech therapy at the age of 5. I am happy to tell you that nowadays, Dr. Lai is starting to see children who are 1.5 years old, 2 years, who are not speaking. And again, what Dr. Lai will do is, too early for a diagnosis, send straight to speech therapy. Okay? Yeah. So these are the developmental milestones which we should know. This is one thing that is should be done by all Malaysian parents, and actually all Malaysians. When the child is born, choose a pediatrician. Okay? Let your child go to the pediatrician for the next 5-6 years. Why? Pediatrician will have the record. Normally what they'll do is they'll ask the parents, and then they will fill up what's in front of you. Oh, can do this, or this or not yet. Maybe give some advice. So if you go to the same pediatrician, you can see the progression or the lack of progression. That's very important. Actually, it's the same thing with others, not children, but others. You need to go to a doctor, like a family. You make the fella a family doctor, and you keep going back to him. Because after a while, you don't just say you've been sick, you go for antibiotics. Third time you go, he gives antibiotics. After a while, what will happen? He will get a bit worried, okay? And perhaps send you for a checkup. Now, what has been happening in Malaysia is that you are not well, you see the doctor, and he gives antibiotics. After 3 days of taking it, you are still not well. So what do? You go to another clinic where the doctor prescribes you another type of antibiotic, and you start that without finishing the first course. Now what we're having is that we are having people who have antibiotic resistance. That means you take antibiotic, it doesn't work for you. Then the doctors will have to give you what? A higher level. So cannot, then it's not level. I think there are only about 4 levels, or 3 or 4 levels. So what will happen is that you keep going to stronger and stronger antibiotics, and the last one doesn't work. Sorry lah. It'd probably be a slow death for you, because, all right, the antibiotics are not killing the microbes. Yeah. Okay, I like this. Your child's early development is a journey. Okay, very clear, right? So actually, the Ministry of Education actually does insist that kindergartens need to measure the child's progress, okay, across the development. Yeah. One more thing I'll tell you. You see, 2 years old here can kick a ball. Now, if you go and give a 6-month-old a ball, can the child kick the ball? No, what? He's not even able to stand properly yet. So there is the stage, You need to learn how to walk before you can start climbing. And after you have walked and you started climbing, then you can go and climb up the slide in a youth park. Okay? So what I have seen, and I shake my head, is this. I know of people, because there's a baby, so at 6, during birthdays or whatever it is, I've seen 6-month-old babies being given a plastic ABC. It's inappropriate lah. Okay? Actually, it happens. So watch what gifts you are. getting for the children. They should be developmentally appropriate. Okay, the Erik Erikson, psychological human development. So he has stage 1, stage 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now, it is very interesting here and here. Just say you are talking about teenagers. All right. Teenagers, you notice that they always want to know who am I? What am I? Okay. And right, what's my role? Okay, is my role as a good student, my role as a very helpful child. Okay. Then young adulthood is in the 20s. Intimacy versus isolation. Meaning, do they go out? Do they have friends and all that? Or are they isolated at home? This is one of the big problems for COVID. When COVID started, schools were closed. Okay, everywhere in the world, people started noticing that the teenage children and the young adults will stay in their room on the computer all the time, if not on the computer, on the phone. Anyone here experience that? You notice, right? Or if you don't have teenagers in your house, you would have people complaining to you. Yeah. So what happened was that they got into this just to be alone, and they like it. Now, okay, starting from January, when the children went back to school, the school counselors are texting my husband because they don't know what to do with children who don't want to come back to school. There is actually one teenage girl who told the parents that if you send me back to school, I will kill myself. Right? And Dr. Lai told them to take that very, very seriously. You know why? They live in a high-rise condominium. She can just open the window and jump down. Because when they become very, emotional, they don't think rationally. So we've got that. Then we've got other like boys, don't want to go to teens, don't want to go to school. Why? They want to stay home and play a game. So if you think of the COVID situation and how it impacted the young people and the teenagers, you need to look here. The COVID came, they were locked at home, they couldn't see their friends. All right. So they got what? They got all, stuck in this young adulthood, intimacy versus isolation. Okay. Adolescence, identity and role confusion. I don't know who I am. So there was this 15-year-old girl. Okay. Her friend, they were both in the same school. Her friend went and told the principal. Okay. And the principal realized that it was very, very serious, called the parents. You know what she had done? They go online and they chat with whoever, we don't know. Then got to know this Western guy and chatting for some time, 1 month, 2 months, whatever. Then he started asking her to what? Take photos of herself in the nude. First it was the head, then the whole body dress. Then after that, it was what? Show the breast, take photographs. And what happened was the friend found out because she apparently was on this group. I don't know what it is really. She was on this group, and whoever are her friends and members of the group can see what she has uploaded, saw the picture. So when they saw more than one picture, they told the principal spoke to the parents. The parents were hopping mad. But shouting and yelling at the girl not going to happen, not going to teach her anything, right? Have to go for therapy. Why did you do that? So you remember she is a teenager. It's because of this identity and role confusion. I'm me. I want someone to like me. And then this person is what? saying nice things and chatting to me and sending me photographs of his hometown and whatever tourist attraction. And then he's inviting me to go visit him, or he can come over, etc. So she feels good, Yeah. Okay. Now, when it comes to younger children, okay, when they are just born, trust versus mistrust. Can I trust you? Then what happened is that every day food is given to her, the milk is given to the baby, all right? Then the caretaker laughs and smiles, take baby for a walk, whatever it is, gives a nice warm bath, okay? So baby very happy. So can trust. Okay, now stage 2 toddlerhood will be 2 years old. Now, this is the problem. Have you all noticed we do this? When you've got up to 1.5-year-old babies, and they start to walk and take things, so clever, you can stand up, very good, you can hold one, isn't it? Naughty, naughty, very bad. Okay, you are a naughty boy. Do we talk like that? Yes, we do. So if you look at stage 2, toddlerhood, autonomy versus shame and doubt. Autonomy is for the child to be more independent. Okay. But then shame and doubt is, oh, I shouldn't do that. Oh, cannot, I'm a bad boy. My mother says I'm a bad boy because I did that. So you got that. Okay. Then preschool, initiative and guilt. The child who does what the teacher has told them, very good. Okay. Then the child who has not done, but the thing is, you know what? As teachers, you need to find out why the child didn't do. Is it because he didn't know how to do and was too shy to ask, like me? Or the child was worried about this. Why you cannot write your A properly? See, all your classmates are doing it. Huh? Why? Huh? Everyone doing it. Now sit down and do it now, or you don't go home. That's what happens. So they feel very guilty. Be careful of this. If the child at that age learns to feel guilt, you know what's going to be a problem? A big problem is when they become teenagers. Okay? Whenever they have done something or everything, they will, because they unconsciously, they remember the guilt in the preschool years. So they say, oh, better not tell. So they learn to lie also. Yeah. Stage 4, when they're in primary school, industry, which is they put in effort. Inferiority means what? So can you just imagine the children in year 4, class A, their thinking, their mindset, compared to year 4, class E. Yeah. And then the other thing to remember is this. It could be that your year, that there's some children in the year 4E class, the problem actually was that they had been maybe scolded in kindergarten or scolded at home for not doing their work. They've always had negative things said to them. So what they do is that they just, I do also, I get scolding. I don't do also, I get scolding. I may as well not do. Okay, I have heard teachers scolding children. You know, they like to ask children to write ABC, one whole page. Correct? The child writes quite a lot, no? Then a few at the bottom are a bit crooked. Probably the hand is tired. The child kena marah for that and asked to rewrite one whole page. You know what I tell my kindergarten teachers? One line of practice is fine as long as it's done properly. Okay? And then if their certain letters are not correct, not well written, I ask the teachers to give them the sand tray or a laminated sheet. So what sand tray does is that they have to write with their finger. Okay. Now, you know why that is? That helps them to remember how to write. Because when you write in the sand tray, it's sensory. Your finger can touch the sand. Okay, so that helps them to remember. That's why if you have seen the Montessori system, they give the children what? Sandpaper letters, so that you can feel. Okay, sensory. Right. Okay. This one here, right? Now I'm giving it to you in this form of brick, form of stairs. Okay. So infant is here, toddler, and it goes on. And integrity versus despair is the older adult, and the despair is when they actually become what? Old people feel very left out, left behind, and no use to anybody. Other people must look after them. Many adult elderly actually are suffering from depression. No job. The food I eat, I can't taste. Okay, when I drink my coffee, I can't smell the coffee. Things like that. They get upset, and the number of friends that they have by the year decreases. Right, so they want to give up. So we have a number of old people who are depressed. They can be treated. Please take to the psychiatrist. There is one specialty in psychiatry called geriatric psychiatry or old age psychiatry. At present, we have 2 old age psychiatrists in Penang. One would be Dr. Liew at General Hospital Penang. Okay, the other old age psychiatrist, I can't remember. Like for child and adolescent psychiatrists in Penang, there are 2. My husband, Dr. Lai, and Dr. Zasmani at Gleneagles. Right? So when you have stages like that, you got no choice. You want to go also, you have to. Whether you want or not, you have to. For example, you don't want to grow old, I'm sorry. Yeah. For people who get Parkinson's disease and dementia, old people, please take to see a geriatric psychiatrist. If not, you contact me. I'll let you know where, because in KL and all that, I need to find out. But Parkinson's disease is when you shake, your head also shake. Okay, it can be medicated. There is medicine for it. Most people don't know. Now, if you have 60, 70-year-old starting not to remember things and all that, losing things and all, take to see a geriatric psychiatrist, because that person may be developing dementia. There is medication if you give it early to help to stop that or slow it down. Okay, so just because people are the old person is nyanyok may not be, is actually not normal. It is actually not normal to end up can't remember things and cannot look after yourself. That's actually not normal. Yeah. Now, who qualifies as a child with special needs? Okay, look here, picture. I love pictures. Okay, so a child with special needs is over the left bottom, is a child with, okay, developmental problem. So developmental problem could be, all right, not able to say mommy, daddy, or milk, one word, by the time you are 2 years old. Okay, autism is considered a developmental illness. Medical will be children who have what? Cerebral palsy and all that. Yeah, cerebral palsy and all. Under medical or developmental, you can also have Down syndrome, etc. Now, generally, you will not have a child with Down syndrome or with cerebral palsy in the regular schools because there are separate schools for these two. Okay. The problem I think most people are struggling with is when they have 2 or 3 children with autism in the classroom and they don't know how to manage the child. Yeah. Children with learning problems are those who have dyslexia, dyspraxia. Dyslexia is you have a problem with your ABCs. Okay. So the most famous one is B and D. When they write, they terbalik. But do you know that some people can have very severe dyslexia until, okay, not just terbalik side to side, no, they can terbalik up and down, and worse, it can move. When they look at the letters will move. That's why they can't read. Okay. Dyscalculia is mathematics. Okay, is mathematics. Now, behavior issues, the very angry boy in school, okay, who go and the boy who went and push one child, the child fell down the stairs. Now, all this have happened before. Okay, all right. If you don't deal with behavior problems early, usually these will grow up into bullies and all that. Yeah, will cause problems. I know of a boy. The family was very klangkabut. In the end, what he would do is, he was like, when he came into my school, when he was about Form 1, every term there will be 1 or 2 big problems. One problem was he decided that when he was informed, that time he was in Form 3. So when the Form 4 and Form 5 classes went out for PE, he will make an excuse to leave the classroom, go to the classrooms, and he will steal the girls' panties and bras. Okay. Then I remember the year 1, year 2 children running to me, break, and they asked me to go outside because that boy had done something. And when I walked over, the other children were screaming, stop, stop, and all that. What he did was, he shook this tree, you know. It's not a very big tree. He shook the tree. He knew, actually, there was a what? Bird's nest there with some, baby birds. So he shook the tree, and then one baby bird fell down. He kicked the baby bird, as if like a football, kick, and then finally kicked the drain. He wanted to step on it. I unfortunately came at that part. I think it would have been easier if he had stepped on it. You know why? Because the bird was already half dead. All right, you can have like that. So making sure you observe the students is very important, because you could help save a life, literally. Yeah. All right, mental illnesses. You can have children with depression and anxiety and other problems. Basically, whatever it is that humans, adults can get, children can get. All right. Most of you, actually, I think you are seeing children here, learning issues, like slow learner and all that. And you are seeing here autism. And you have some children who are having mental health issues. By the way, the youngest child that Dr. Lai treated for depression was 4 years old. There was, once she got the proper treatment, amazing, man, the change. The family couldn't believe it. The teachers couldn't believe it either. Okay, now, where do all these problems come from? Hereditary as well as environment. Hereditary means it is your, what do you call that? Your genes. Autism, can be passed down. Autism can be passed down. I remember there was a case very long time ago. That means about 15, 20 years ago. The parents ended up with one autistic child, boy. Then what they did was 3 years later, they decided to have another child so that that child can look after the brother, the older brother. Guess what happened? The second child also had autism, and in fact, worse than the eldest. There is a geneticist, okay, in Penang General Hospital. He comes from KL General Hospital, comes out to Penang once a month to stay for 1 week. What he does is that he tests the genes. So sometimes what we do is that if the parents tell us they want to have another child and they already have autism, in the family, we actually ask them to see this doctor to discuss the likelihood of their child, okay, having special needs. Environmental factors affect the fetus after the conception of the child or birth. Okay, right. That was a very sad case. Baby was born normally. Okay, then caregiver dropped the baby on his head. Okay, the head banged into onto the floor. What do you think happened to the baby? Became an intellectual disability, that couldn't, just couldn't learn because there has been brain damage, right? And other environmental factors that could be possible is the house, okay? The house where they're staying. Previously, I'm not sure whether you know this, previously, all paint had lead inside, plumbum, lead. After that, they stopped already for many years. Why? Because children playing with, toys, which have been, last time it was all wood, painted wood, they play, they put in their mouth. There was actually lead in paint. And that caused, all right, some intellectual disability. Now, your special needs child can have a developmental disability, a learning disability, a physical disability, or a sensory disability. So just like you saw the picture, all right. Now, sensory disabilities are quite interesting, all right. There was this, I remember some years ago, one child, on certain days, he will keep doing this. He wants to pull off his t-shirt. I think about 4 years old. Other days, okay, then a few times, then pull. So the teachers didn't know what to do. What I said was, we have our PE t-shirts, right? Get one PE t-shirt, let him put it on. Okay, right. Then after that, I figured out what it was. He kept on trying to pull it out and he couldn't really explain. Guess he has autism. You know, the back of your clothes, you have a label. He didn't like the feeling of the label. Okay, he didn't like the label, but he didn't know how to tell. So in the end, I had to tell the parents to cut off all the labels. Sensory issue. Another sensory issue is, that could be possible, is this. I think I told this story, but I'm not sure whether everyone was there, but let me tell it again. We had a boy in year 3, all right, doesn't talk, but very, behaves extremely well in class and does write. Well, his writing is like printed, but slow. Okay, no problem. Then, teachers started to come to tell me that this boy is starting to walk around the class and he's being like disobedient, won't follow instruction. The instruction is go and sit back in your place. Okay, so I went in and saw that the boy sits next to the the window. But when I went in, our friend no problem doing his work. I had actually got to reprimand 2 other kids who were chatting away at the back. Then after that, okay, so I kept a record. Then I figured out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, tiap hari, all right, at around 11:45, 12 o'clock. He will get up and walk around. Then it's time for lunch. And then after lunch, our friend will come back to the classroom and plonk sit nicely on his chair, no problem. You know what happened? Some of the teachers were wondering whether it's hantu or not. I said hantu doesn't come out in the daytime. So I had to call in Silviana Bonade, a special educator. She works with the Mental Health Association of Penang's Intervention Center for Children with Special Needs. So she's from Switzerland. I asked her, so she came in at about 11:30, you know, because I told her about he only does this about 11:45. So she came, she looked around, asked him to sit, dia tak mau. Then after that, puzzled, then Sylvian decided to sit in his place. Why? He wanted to check whether there are any nails or anything, you know, on the table and the chair, and also started checking. Tada. Okay, then, all right, she looked outside. She found the answer. All right, a new teacher started working in the school about 2 weeks before. And the new teacher parked her car outside this particular classroom's window. And at around 11:45, what happens? The sun is reaching the top, isn't it? And so when the sun reaches that place, the angle is such that the sunlight will bounce off or reflect off the windscreen into his eye. It's a sensory issue, but you know what? Dia tak boleh beritahu. He couldn't tell. So actually, you've got children with special needs is a all right, very effective way. All right, if you want to know actually how are they, what's happening, and all that, you actually ask them direct questions. Okay, you must ask direct questions. Okay, so after that it was very simple. The teacher was asked to park her car somewhere else. End of story. Okay, now these are some of the things when they have developmental disabilities. They may have difficulty with language speaking or writing. They have short attention span. There are many things that they cannot do, which we need to help them to figure out a plan. And finally, if they get there, it's very difficult for them to learn ABC 1, 2, 3. Okay, for special needs children, I'm telling you, the 1 to 20 usually no problem. Adding is a problem. You know why? Because most of the time when we add, we are actually telling the children now, what do you think is 1 plus 2, 3 times 4? So it's the hearing, they don't get to see it. So children with special needs, whenever you can, give manipulative things that they can look. Do you know there was once I had a student, he could not understand, all right, he trying to explain to him about, you know, mountains and all that, the sea, he found it very difficult because you think about it, if you stand, I stand outside my window, I can see Penang Hill, okay? But then when you look at a book, especially the topographical maps, it's like flat, right? So in the end, the Lord gave me an idea. I think I took a piece of old cardboard from a box. Then I more or less went and traced Penang. I followed the topographical map. Then I told him, okay, you use plasticine in different colors, you fill this up. So the bottom outest one is the lowest. Okay, then step level by level up to the top. Okay, and then I got him to write Penang Hill. Okay, and we use what do you call that? We used satay stick to stick it on top. He understood then. He then understood that mountains go up. Okay. Right, learning disabilities means you have the child has difficulty with using spoken and written language. Okay, so just now the boy who kept walking around at about 11:45, he had a problem with what? He couldn't speak. He could write. Okay. Now, if a children with a learning disability may also be what? Not able to do the function of the thinking, listening, speaking, spelling, okay, do maths. Okay. By the way, unable to listen here, you're not talking about being deaf, because hearing impact is a different sector. What we are talking about actually is you tell the child doesn't seem to understand. Okay, so you have to use short sentences, step by step. Better still, if you write it on the board, on a piece of paper, they can understand better. Okay. How do you work with disabled children? We focus on behavior modification, multisensory training, and task analysis. Okay, this you need to learn how to do. Simple behavior modification or behavior management to make sure that the child, okay, is able to have some self-control and learn. Okay, the child will not be, don't try and force the child to learn the amount of learning you're giving your regular students in one lesson. The child will have to do less. All right. Task analysis is this, especially for maths, your problem question, you read, then you got to figure out what to do. Task analysis, a big problem, because this is thinking again. All right. So usually, all right, for maths, we don't give problem questions. Right. Physical disabilities, the blind, the deaf, okay. What's that? Cerebral palsy. Normally, I said, even the blind, we don't get in our schools because they have special schools. Sensory disabilities, okay. This is especially difficult for children who are visually impaired. You notice the poor child, when you start teaching the blind, then you suddenly realize that we use a lot of what? Sight when we are giving instructions or we are speaking, right? And it's difficult because they cannot imagine it. Generally speaking, if the child or the adult, like my husband, loses the eyesight later, what has happened is that he has already seen. So when you go and tell him something like a bus stop or a big boulder, a big rock, they can tell. The thing is for the children born blind or became blind at a very young age. All right. You have to be aware of the child's needs. Every child is different. Okay. There are those who have communication disorders. Okay. Either they cannot speak very well, okay, or their problem is they cannot arrange it. You must say, okay, please sit down. The child has to understand what is please and what is sit and is down, right? So some children have difficulty with that. So for children who are not able to communicate in and sentences all tak boleh, there is something called the PECS, Picture Exchange Communication System. The Picture Exchange Communication System works this way. You've got little, the size of a stamp, that kind of stamp. You've got pictures there. You can have an apple, okay? You can have a color pencil, all the things there. And then, okay, the child will have like a board, okay? And on the board, we have stuck all the, what's that called? What are those white strips? Velcro. So you've got something like a board, then we put strips of Velcro there. On every little stamp size pieces, okay, just like your Scrabble. We will put pictures of different things which we know he knows. Okay? And so what the child will do this is that if he wants a drink, he will look for the picture there and stick it on the Velcro. Okay. Then he will go to the person. The person also, and the person must respond in speech. John, you want to drink orange juice? Yeah, orange juice. Then you can try doing this. Can you say orange juice? Very good. Doesn't pronounce it very well. And we actually build up so that they can actually communicate. All right. Emotional behavioral disorders, these are the ones that drive the school disciplinary teachers crazy. Okay. Hyperactive, cannot sit still, always moving around. Okay. Aggressive. Okay. Always shouting and attacking some student. Okay. Or your child may be very scared, some who has a lot of worry and anxiety and withdrawn. So, okay, let me tell you this story, then you tell me what emotional or behavioral order this child has. Actually, a 6-year-old child, okay, has been in year 1 for about a month over, okay, 2 months. And the teachers are fed up because the subject teachers, because every time she will cannot crying or every little thing, or the teacher tells a child, okay, your work is good, just erase this off. Okay, you erase this off and then you write the correct answer. Stop crying. Everything also crying. Okay, so at a teachers meeting, I will always have a meeting like every month or so to ask how are things, okay, how can I support you, So when this news came to me of this child, okay, I decided to help her by making an origami boat. So that class had about 10 students, right? So I went in with enough paper for everybody plus space extra. Then I taught them how to fold origami boat. Okay, now this is what I did halfway through my origami boat. Okay, children, right? So now oh no, I tore my boat. Oh my goodness, what should I do? No, I won't cry. I know, I will take another piece of paper and start again. What was I doing? So the intervention, the drama that I acted, untuk yang apa? Hyperactive, aggressive, or anxious, withdrawn? Hello? I got yeah, the anxious withdrawn one. After that, yes, much better. Okay. Another type of student we are now starting to have are children who came from very, very scary kindergartens, or the parents at home, okay, are very scary. Those are the kindergartens where must get everything correct, must be 100%. And the parents must be 100%. 96, why 96? Why not 100? Not good enough school. Okay, and get punished sometimes. So because of that, we are getting actually some more anxious, withdrawn children. All right, there are also children who are pushed like that, and what happens? They become very aggressive. They get very angry, easily angry, because they can do nothing right. Even if it's 99 marks, also cannot, must be 100. Okay, gifted and talented education. We actually don't have one here. All right, except that down in Kuala Lumpur, there is the Permata Center for autism, and also that they are running one for gifted, all right, children. If you do have a gifted child in your class, okay, please try to give the child other things in addition. And nowadays, because of computer, you can ask them to choose one topic and then do a project. And then you tell her that she needs to make maximum 20 slides or something. Then she can present it to the class one day. Okay. I was a gifted child in English literature. So in Form 4 and Form 5, I only attended one English lesson a week. Okay. Why? It was actually to save the teachers. What I did was, not realizing it, once a trainee teacher came, and I told Anne, all right, what happened was a trainee teacher came with who? Her supervisor at the back. And I stood up and told the teacher that the grammar was wrong. I mean, it was wrong. Okay, but all right. I didn't realize that I'm not supposed to say it. So then what happened after that was, every time there are training teachers, I'm sent away. Okay, all right. And then my English teacher was good. She recognized that my level was so much higher that if I'm there, it would be difficult. So I was allowed to go to the library to read whatever I want. I read, I think, almost all the books in the library. Okay. For educators here is that basically it will tell you that you are supposed, okay, to go and get the guidelines. Unfortunately, we don't really have a lot of these guidelines. Okay. So starting from you all who are here listening now, have a record of the child, okay, and note what is it that he likes, he doesn't like, what he does well in, okay? And then from there, figure out how you can get the child to learn more or do more in the areas that he enjoys. So an example would be, if I'm teaching a child with autism and this child loves the small Hot Wheel cars, I will do English, math, and science, okay, and geography also, all right, with what? Hot Wheel cars. Okay, English, we'll write stories about where the Hot Wheel car goes and all that. And then you know what I'll do? Then the Hot Wheel car meets something else, something strange. Why? I want to expand him a bit instead of just Hot Wheel car. So he finds a train, and I make sure the train is there with the what? With the track. Then we go choo choo. All right. All right. Then he's quite. Then what I noticed was he does. After that, he did play with the train, trying to expand. Now, one thing is another thing I need to, I think, let teachers know is this. There are some children with special needs, especially children with autism. They are super picky about their food. We have children, I know of one child, okay, who eats white rice and ketchup every day, and all right, several cups of Milo a day. And the child, all right, you look at the size and all that, no problem. She's happy. Okay, so I told my husband, I think we need to go and thank Milo. The child is at, there must be a lot of what? Nutrients inside, because the child is living on Milo. All right. There are other children. All right. When you put the food on in a container car on a plate, if the different types of food touch, I won't eat. I had one whereby I throw everything on the floor. Okay. They are very particular. So if you do have some children like that, let me, all right, share the solution with you. Go and buy those, you know, round platters or the rectangular platters with little little holes in it, so that you separate the food. Just to use that, okay? And then another thing is this: they're going to have big problems about going to the canteen and all that, and you also want to rest. So what you do is, all right, tell the parents to provide food. After you get to know the child, maybe 3 months or so, then you may want to take the child to the canteen to learn to buy food. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to, this is something that all special needs teachers, as well as all teachers, all of us here need to know. That your role is, you need to appreciate that they are all different. Next, you need to, all right, do something about the environment. So in that particular classroom, I had to ask the teacher to park her car somewhere else. Okay, what? All right. Some children may get easily distracted with toys or whatever. Take it away, or put it into a cupboard where you can close the door. Put toys into what? Not transparent. To put toys into these plastic containers you can buy from what's this, Tesco, with a lid on it. So you put things there. All right. So arranging your environment could also be that the child who is very hyperactive doesn't sit at the back of the class, okay, and he cannot sit next to the window because he'll give you a running commentary on what's going on outside. All right, so you have to put him in front, nearer to you. Yeah. Assess them to see their strengths and disabilities, also to see their progress. The progress won't be as quick as with regular children, but it will, all right, should be ongoing. If not, if you are stuck at the same point for several months, you need to go and, all right, discuss it with someone who has special needs training. Children to cooperate. A lot of special needs children don't want to cooperate. They are used to playing on their own by themselves. So you must slowly, all right, help them. Helping them includes, maybe you will sit on the floor, ask the special child to sit next to you, and then you all play a simple game. The simple game can be just what? To what? Throw the ball or something. But that you're bringing the child in. Okay? This will also help with children who are very anxious and all, because they don't want to play. All right? They are scared. Independence, you teach them how to be independent. I have children coming back from COVID in January at my church kindergarten. There were a number of the 5-year-olds and the 6-year-olds, don't talk about 4 years old, 5 and 6-year-olds who couldn't put on their shoes and socks and take them off. Okay, so I told the teachers, have lesson, please. Everyone does it. Yeah. Then encouraging positive interactions. You try whenever there's time for them to play, or is a free time and all that. Try to what? Go and figure out what kind of activity, game that they can get involved in. Right? Because you know why? If you don't give them something positive to do, then you will have the devil coming in and teaching them to do all sorts of, all right, inappropriate things. Mainstreaming and inclusion. Can the child sit in and study in a regular classroom? Or do you have to take them out and put them in a separate class, or you need to take them out and put them in a separate school? All right. So our children who are blind and cerebral palsy and Down syndrome all have separate schools. Schedule planning. Your timetable may be a little bit different now if it's a half-day timetable for the child. The special child may not be able to tahan half an hour just on one thing. Okay. So you need to schedule it. Usually what you do is if there's something you want them to do, okay, for a special child, you break it into parts. So if you want the child to learn the ABC, the first thing they do is they all together sing ABC song. And then after that, okay, the children are going on to what? Practice, the dotted line ABCs. So the other children are doing this. Now your child, what you do is you take your child to go and play with the sand. You give him or her cards or Scrabble letters, and then they try and just sort of like play in the sand. They won't be able to write properly the first time. Okay? Then after that, you give them plasticine, they make ABC 1, 2, 3 with the plasticine. Okay, then, all right, maybe time's up for next lesson. Okay, if not, just give him, say, 2 letters, 2 A's to write with all the dots, enough, and praise him lavishly. Okay. Wait for this. Okay, modification and accommodation. Modification means you make some changes. Accommodation is totally different. Accommodation is you need to, for example, teach totally differently. Okay, so for instance, okay, you may have a child sitting, okay, only at what? The teacher is here, and then these 2 children are doing their work, okay? And then over here is the same thing. So instead of having 4 children sitting all around and the teacher is in front, this has been modified. And this is especially for, you're going to put 1 or 2 children there who need help, special help. Okay, I loved my table and chair in the St. Barinus School in Oxford, because I had 10 children, boys, all from 1 age. Okay, so what happened is that I had a U-shaped table, and I'm in the middle of the U. Okay, I will have maximum 4 kids there, U-shaped, and then my chair had wheels, so I was going zush, zush, zush to each one of the 4 children, or the 14 boys. Okay, it's very very convenient, because actually they're all doing slightly different things. All right. Okay, this one I'd like you to read. And all right, what time is it now? I won't do take questions here. I will take questions after the next part of the talk. All right. What time is it?
Okay, we can. It's almost 3:45.
Yes, I kept time with it.
Okay. So are we all ready for photo session? So please turn on your video. Let's look our best. And Rosalind, are you ready?
Where's the photographer?
Okay, sorry, had to go and stop. Everybody can please switch on your camera.
Yes.
Put on your best smile. Okay, there are 3 pages, so bear with me a while. Page 1. Page 2. Okay, thank you very much.
See you in 15 minutes.
Hold on. There's some announcements.
Oh, announcement. I'm sorry.
Ross, can you put on the slides, please? Okay. On the 27th of August, we're going to have this webinar on PowerPoint, the teacher's best friend. This will be conducted by Mr. Michael Hughes. So if you are interested, do sign up, and do let your friends, colleagues, and church members know about the upcoming webinars. Next one, please. Okay, do connect with us. That's our email address, Gmail address. We are contactable via WhatsApp. You can read about us on TCF Malaysia Facebook, Instagram, and our website. And if you wish to apply to be a TCF member, the TCF membership application is in the QR code. Membership fee is 20 ringgit per year and 300 ringgit for a life membership. So many TCF members, they have opted to be a TCF life member so that, you do away with the yearly renewal. And those ordinary members whose membership has expired, you can also renew. And then the TCF update information is on the last one. Okay, Queenie asked for a repeat of the upcoming webinar. Can we go back, please? Ross? The one on the, yeah. So PowerPoint, the teacher's best friend. And Mr. Michael Hughes, he is he's very good in this area, and he really wants to share his knowledge with us. And I think this is a very worthwhile webinar to attend. Currently, very few have signed up. Maybe teachers are so busy, but please help to publicize this webinar that will be held on the 27th of August to your friends and colleagues. Okay, and we just now I mentioned that there is a link on the feedback. We really value your feedback so that we know what kind of webinars, what kind of training that you'll be interested in, and we will base on your feedback. Yeah. Okay, so maybe we'll take a 5 or 10 minutes break.
Come back at 4.
Come back at 4 o'clock sharp.
Okay. Right, welcome back.
Okay. There are 2 questions already in the chat box. Can I read to you the first one?
No, I'm going to be giving you this PowerPoint, and that PowerPoint will be on the tips for teaching and managing their behavior. So I'm just going to show it to you. Later on, it will be sent to you. Okay. Where's mine? Right. Can you see approaches to dealing with challenging behavior?
No, we are not seeing the screen.
We're not seeing your screen. Yeah.
Let me try again. Oh, I know what happened. Wait. I forgot to press the share button. Okay, now can you see it?
Yes. Yes, we
Approaches to dealing with challenging behavior. You can see it now, yeah. So you can go through this on your own. And for those who would like to know more, because you are currently, for instance, teaching in a school where there are some children with challenging behavior in your class, or you want to help somebody else, okay? Or I do know that there are teachers, especially the retired teachers, are helping out to teach at centers for usually service centers to children from B40 families. Yeah. So if you do have issues with this, then you are most welcome to approach me. We can do it 2 ways. One is that we have another session where I do just on challenging behavior. Just now I gave an overview because there are quite a number of different special needs. Yep. So just remember this. You can put on your wall traffic light. Okay. Green. Okay. Green is the engaged, orange disruptive, red unacceptable. So you can put it there. is a reminder. What I used to do in UK was that we did one for every student, and then I'll time every 10 minutes or so, I'll go around checking. Well done, Peter, you're on green. High five. John, you're on a green too. Mary, orange. So what do you think you should do? Yeah. Okay, good. You're going to try. Okay. So you just tell them that. Then now that this is interesting. Number 2, first time you tell them, they still don't follow, or they continue whatever they're not supposed to be doing, then, okay, you have a good follow-up response. Most children, by the time you go a second time, okay, they'll do it. Remember that most children, actually, teenagers and us actually, we don't like to be suddenly told to stop what we're doing and do something else. Okay, so in 5 minutes, okay, in 5 minutes, we are going to da, 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 da. Okay, then, all right, children, 5 minutes up. So they prefer to have to be able to, they need some time to adjust the transition. And then in the end, this is for us. As a teacher, how do we develop self-control? Because sometimes we really feel really, but then you must be very careful. There was a retired teacher in England. He went back to school to work part-time. And the boys, that particular class, and the boys, they are really terrible. So what they did was they deliberately did this. They had their phones with them, you know. They deliberately did this. Let's see how much we can annoy him. Let's see how long before he explodes. Okay, they did this a few times. All right, that means over a few days. Then the final day, okay, he lost total control. Okay, he went to the boy, hit him, and then dragged him out into the corridor. Okay, into another room. He saw, the teacher saw a fire extinguisher. What do you think he did? He threw the boy on the floor. He took the fire extinguisher and whacked him on the head. The boy didn't die, a hard skull, okay, and the judge released him because they found evidence. The police found evidence on the students' phones of what they had been doing, and then also the other teachers and some of the students came to vouch for him. All right. So self-control. How do we develop self-control? Now, here. Okay, first is ground rules, speak positive language, positive behavior, encourage positive behavior. Okay, how to speak to the children. So okay, now this is very important. Children are not allowed to hurt themselves. They're not allowed to hurt other people physically. Okay, they're not allowed to hurt other people verbally. They're not allowed to destroy property. They must learn how to control themselves. So actually, this should be taught. All right. I have some materials for teaching, and this is okay. Quite teaching these key concepts. I will be happy to share them. So now, the problem with teens and children with behavior issues is that they don't have self-control. They need someone else to control them. You know, like taking a dog for a walk. Now look at this dog. This dog has self-control. Its tail is holding its, all right, the tail, you know, not a human being, holding the leash. So we need to teach this. Do you have self-control, by the way? If you see 6 Dunkin' Donuts like that, can tahan or not? Ladies, my way is this. I look at it and I say, once past the lips, never off my hips. Okay, so that we can tahan. Self-control doesn't just happen. It needs to be taught, it needs to be practiced, and it needs to be re-taught. You have to teach the children because they're not teaching self-control, etc. at home. I think that there are some others, our old, I mean, in the 50s and above, were we allowed to lie down on the sofa? you get what? Okay, you're not allowed to do that. That's a simple one. Okay, and then when you go for lunch, makan, you eat with everybody else, not in your room. These are just some of the things that have not been taught. This is funny. You all know bubble wrap? Do you know that bubble wrap is actually used in schools and other places for self-control? You take the bubble wrap and then you pack as much as you can. Or you stamp on it, put on the floor and stamp on it. So can you imagine? I love packing bubble wrap. You ask me to work in a bubble wrap factory, I will be in seventh heaven, but there will be no product to be sold because I would have burst all. Self-control. Stop, think. What could happen? Is this what you want? So you teach the children. Okay, there's a being self-control is being in charge of your emotions, your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Normally, when people get very angry, they lose control. Literally, they don't know what they're saying and they're doing. Okay, now this is a board that we use, okay, to teach children how to control themselves. I feel frustrated. Okay, you just put whatever these are, you just put it here. So what do you want to do? You can, all right, do journal writing, read a book, draw a picture, talk to someone. Okay, or here, I want to squeeze some plasticine. So when the child is frustrated, they'll do that. We allow children to choose. So you can't say things like, you must not be angry and you cannot be angry, because anger will come. It's what you do with your anger that's important. I always say that for the Bible. Anger. So it's what you do with your anger. A number of, I'm telling you, people in prison, okay, are there because they did something to someone while they were angry. Okay. So here, self-control is what? Balance, calmness, determination, confidence, and willpower. Okay. So this I will send to you. And like I said, if someone wants me to do some training, no problem. I'll be happy to do so. Those of you who are teaching in the Christian kindergartens or these Christian community centers, you're doing tuition and all that, I will be more than happy to help. Thank you. Now, questions. Yes, I understand. I already got two.
Many. Okay. Question number 1. How to discover the talent of children with autism? Some are very talented in drawing, music, etc.
Okay. I am going to do brain science with you. Child's, or all of us, our brain inside here, the way that the brain connects with each other, okay, will be through neurons. Okay, neurons very cute. What happens is that you get like something in the middle, and then you got this side. You know why? So this neuron will connect to another neuron using this little like arm synapse. So you got them all over. Okay, our brains grow the fastest. Okay, literally before you are what, about 4 years old, 5 years old. Oh no, grows the fastest up to the age of 5, correct? I remember kindergarten. So now that we know that the brain grows so fast between the ages up to 5 years old, all right, you should let a child experience as many different things as possible. Okay, then you'll know, all right, what they're going to, then after a while, you'll see what they're interested in. But give your child as many experiences as possible. Because, very interestingly, when they're about 7 years or something, or so, the neurons, all right, are literally, like cutting your hair, okay, or a bush The bush is the plant. Let's talk about bonsai. So now what do? You want to snip all those extra. So that's what our brain will do. Between the ages of 7 and so above, your brain will automatically start cutting those neurons, those little bits that your brain has not been using. Okay, so for instance, if I've never been exposed to dance, okay, at 7, so later on you want to learn dance, very difficult, right? Have you noticed when you're older, you're learning is very difficult? So if you do not expose the children to many different experiences, activities, what will then happen is, all right, when the brain starts cutting the neuron, all right, it's doing gardening, pruning when they're 7. So that child will not have so many maybe interests or abilities. That is why it is very unfair, but research has shown that we can tell by the age of 2. By the age of 2, I can tell you whether your child will be going to university or not. People go, huh? The reason is this. The researchers test the child's vocabulary. Have you noticed that parents, especially those who are educated or those from higher income levels, they read stories to their children, they talk to the children, okay? One more thing. The parents' own vocabulary is much higher. So the children from that kind of family by the age of 2 will their level of vocabulary much more than children from B40 families. Okay, then it's also sad because the B40 families, okay, will not be able to take their children everywhere, give them experiences. And that is why the Ministry of Education started kindergarten in Sekolah Rendah Kebangsaan. Not all have it, but quite a number have. You know why? Because they suddenly realized that, hold on first. Science says that children, all right, the preschool years are very important. It affects their academic progress later. So then they discovered that people have money, they will send their children to kindergarten. Then a lot of B40 children did not go to kindergarten. So when these B40 children landed up in year 1, they were already behind the others. They already know how to read and all that. Then they can write. So to ensure that the B40 children get an opportunity, okay, to have a more to have a better chance of performing well in school, the Ministry of Education started kindergartens.
Okay. The second question.
Yeah.
I have a child who is 15 months old and she hasn't said mama or papa, but prefer to say aha in most cases. She does make other sounds though, but not always. She meets all the other 1 to 2-year-olds development milestones besides saying mama or papa. Should I be worried that she could be an autistic child or a speech delay case that I should send her to see a speech therapist for early intervention?
Oh, okay. Just 1 minute. I think the question by Helene about talent of children with autism, if Helene can contact me separately, I have the phone contact of the parents of this boy, autistic, excellent in art. They brought him and he met President Obama because he won some competition. Okay, so if you want more information about the art and special needs children, contact me. Yeah, sorry, I'm looking at
Pin's question.
Queenie.
Pin.
P-I?
P-I-N.
Where is it? At the top?
Below,
or bottom?
below.
Right at the bottom.
Scroll
okay.
down. Yeah, further down.
Oh, okay. Deborah, is it?
Pin.
Sorry, which question is it? Can you just read it to me?
Okay.
I am looking at Deborah. How do we ensure other children are given attention? And have May Chan. I have a child always looks out the window. Then I
This
have
one is above. Scroll up.
Evelyn, is it?
Scroll up a bit more. Pin. P-I-N.
Mengapa saya tak nampak?
Okay.
I'm
Can
looking at
I read to
Joshua.
you the question?
I can wait. I found it.
Okay.
All right. 15-month-old child will be 1 year, 12 months, and 13, 14, 15. 1 year, 3 months. By the way, why do you think I'm counting like this? Because what a 12-month-old child can do is very different from what an 18-month-old child can do. Okay, and you go and look at the full development. You can find development milestones list online, the full one. They will actually literally tell you every 2-3 months what the child can do, not just by the year. Yeah, 15 years. Okay, can I ask Pin, is this child an only child? What's the message?
Hello,
Indeed.
hello, Datin. Hello, Datin.
Yeah.
I'm joining Mr. Joshua here.
Who is this?
She's not the only child. She's the second child in the family.
She's
Oh,
a
is that Pin?
Yes, I'm a Pin. Yes,
Okay, how old is the first child?
6 years old.
Is the older child able to speak and all, no language delay?
Very well. She could speak very well.
Who is looking after them? The children
Grandma.
at home.
Yes,
And
yes.
did the grandmother also look after the older girl?
No.
Who looked after the older girl?
School. She goes to school.
No. Last time when the older sister was
Oh,
2-3
yeah,
years
grandma.
old,
Same grandma.
okay, so it was the same person looking after them, and the family environment should be the same. So
Correct.
the older girl has no problems at all, is developing well. Only this 15-month-old.
Because my concern is would it be we speak to the elder child most of the time?
Can be happen. I said nowadays, like I said earlier, what we do is that we don't tell you what could be the diagnosis. Instead, we tell you that since this child seems to be a little bit delayed, I think you should consider taking for speech therapy. You contact me later, I can give you 2 centers.
Sure. Thank you very much, Datin. Thank you.
Okay, so the thing is, this very important. The thing is that she is not autistic. Don't say that yet because we don't know. Appears that she is a bit delayed in speaking. I think we all know some people who talk a lot, me, and then there's some people who are quite quiet, right?
Yes, agree.
So yeah, so this girl may turn out to be one of that, but of course we are a bit worried. Okay,
Yes.
just go and check and see.
Sure. Thank you, Datin.
One more thing, the family members need to talk to the child more, play with the child more.
Sure.
Okay.
Thank you, Datin.
Welcome.
Okay. The next one is by Deborah.
Deborah.
Do you want me to read the question?
I'm trying to look for it because
Below. Scroll down.
oh, I was thinking of going right to the top and then start one by one.
We finished the earlier ones.
Wait a minute. I'm looking at some that were typed while I was speaking. 1 minute. Let me see. Okay, Helene's one is the earliest, is it?
Okay.
1 minute. Helene's one. Okay, done. So now I'm going is my what's stuck? I keep on seeing the same ones. I wonder why.
The next one is Mr. Joshua's.
Okay, I thought I saw it earlier. Okay, next to Peanut. I'm a preschool teacher teaching 5-year-olds. I have a special child who shows occasional behaviors of hitting and poking friends with a pencil. What is your advice? Anybody here, can you tell me, is the 5-year-old being very naughty when he pokes at people, or is there another function in his mind? That means I'm asking you, why do you think he pokes people?
I think he likes to look at the response of the people that he poke, the shouting or the the noise that they make, because sometimes they like to hear this kind of response. So the more response they get, it indirectly motivate that person to poke someone.
So could we say that this boy is seeking attention? Do you think it's attention seeking? Most likely. Okay. This boy, because he's a special boy, does he have like friends who will play with him?
Oh, hi, Datin. Yes.
Yeah.
This boy, he doesn't really play with friends. He doesn't really
Okay.
play with friends. Yes.
All right. So, actually, this poor boy, he's not being naughty. Because of his special needs, he doesn't have many friends, no one to play with. So when he feels lonely, I mean, they will feel lonely once in a while. He may like to play most of the time with himself, but once in a while, he wants to go and, all right, play with other people. But Joshua, does he talk?
Yes, he can.
All right. So can he ask for things?
Yes.
He can
Yes,
ask
mostly
for
in
things.
Chinese. Yes.
Okay. Right. In this case, I figure this boy wants attention. Okay. Negative attention, people shouting at you better than no attention. So teaching him, okay, how to have some social skills will help. So what you do is you catch hold of him, don't scold. Like I said, you want to play with Peter? Yeah, you want to play? Okay. Then you say, Peter, can we play? Can you say it? Okay. Peter, he so and so wants to play with you. So you make sure you're there now. Okay. Then the next thing to learn is what? What other things does he do? Okay.
He will hit his.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hitting
He will
with
hit his
friends and poking friends. It could actually be that he wants some company. So he needs to be taught. And then you need to teach the other children when Peter comes, or when John comes, okay, right? You turn to him, you turn to him and say, what do you want, Peter? Or do you want to play? Whatever, so that he can respond. All right. Now, then you need to go and do big drama with another teacher. So you hold a pencil, go and poke, and then the other teacher goes, and all that. Okay? Then the next thing you do, you can put on the, all right, a big drama. I said, uh-oh. So what do we do? Okay. Then you done that already. Then the next part is, what is this? A pencil. Very good. Children, what do we do with pencils? We write. Yes. Okay. Now, is it safe to play with pencils? Safe? Not safe. Okay. And then it may be very painful. Okay. There may even be blood. You have to go to hospital. Okay. You teach the whole class. Then you tell them, so if John, don't you say that. John sometimes forgets, you see. So if John comes with a pencil, All right, what do? You tell him, John, put back the pencil. Okay. Now, most special needs children can understand direct instructions. So this is how some of us will speak, Malaysians will speak. You so naughty, huh? You take the pencil and poke. You don't know to poke the pencil can die one. You know, this will go and shout. Then go and sit down. I want to ask you, did the child learn anything from you?
All the time, I think.
No, I'm just saying what I did just now. What? Sit down. Did the child actually learn something from you? Your job actually is to teach him behavior. Did he learn any behavior from you? So that doesn't work. That one is for you to rasa lega sikit. Okay? Let off some steam. But you have not taught him, so you've got to teach him.
Okay.
Okay? Then, since he can speak, it should be easier.
Okay.
Yeah, and then anything...
Thank you, Datin.
So remember, teach him the right behavior, teach him social skills, get the children involved. If there is still a problem, all right, please contact me if you wish.
Okay, thank you so much.
Welcome. How to deal with parents who refuses to accept their child needs either an assessment or early intervention. These are famous. The parents are, what you call that, in denial. Okay, but then you must understand, in a way you can't blame them because they had the child, all right, and then spend years looking after the child and lots of money too. So they expect the child to be perfect. Some even go and tell the child, next time you must look after mommy and daddy, you know. Okay, what you could actually do is this. You go and print out the child developmental milestones. Actually, parents should be taking their children to see a pediatrician regularly to tick the milestones, what they've done. So you look at that and then you ask speak to the parents based on this. I'm so happy, you'll be happy to know this can do this and this. We are a bit worried about these two milestones. Because he's already 5, now these two milestones are actually what? 4-year-old, 3.5-year-old milestones. That means in this area, he needs some help. Okay, then what you do is, all right, make sure you have the contact of some, okay, what do you call it? Child development center, what do you call those? Therapy centers, or you send to give contact for a child psychiatrist or whatever, and say that maybe, you know, we would like to, we want the school, the kindergarten wants to help your son. Okay, so we need some advice from experts, specialists, what to do. Okay, so do you think you could give card or telephone number, and then you let us know? So remember, you mustn't give the impression, actually we don't give the impression, the parents assume that you are targeting their child. Their child is not good enough, you know, that kind of thing. So what you now do is that you show the developmental milestones and you say, these are okay, they're happy. Then after you say, these two, you're very worried. Okay, that he's behind by 1 year and the other one is behind by about 15 months. Okay, then we would like to be able to help the child to what? To improve in this area. Okay, here is a contact. All right, we hope that you will take, we hope to hear from you. What are the, what do you call that? What are the techniques we can use to help him? Okay, and then after that, you zip your mouth. If they say negative things also, you zip your mouth. I know it's very difficult, but okay. I hope that helps. Deborah, is green engaged or disengaged? The PowerPoint. Let me go and check. Yeah. Thank you for telling me. Now I have Evelyn. Thanks. Okay, I'm a novice teacher teaching in a primary school. There's an 8-year-old boy. Most of the time likes to disturb his friends, punching or doing something that disturbs his friends. Should we advise him to go for behavioral therapy, or is that normal for the kid of that age to do? I talk nicely to him, ask reason why he behaves, and he refuses to talk to me, and the parents refuse to believe their child is behaving that way. Okay, number 1, Evelyn, is there a CCTV camera in your classroom? Now I actually tell people, if you can afford it, put the CCTV. Then you go and find that video, you look through and then find that video, that part there, when the child catch up orang. Okay, then you tell the parents that you would like to help this child. Okay, help this child. Because, all right, if we don't help the child now, there will be a lot of difficulties when he goes to secondary school.
Oh, hi, Datin. There is no CCTV in the class.
Okay.
But then there's one incident that I accidentally video record the child punching the friend. Yep. But then the parents refuse to believe that their child is behaving so. And they also refuse to take him to the therapy or to do a diagnosis lah, basically.
All right. You are asking whether is this normal to behave like this? How many other children do you have in the class?
30 plus.
Any other child who punches others? Are there any other children in your class who will go and punch the others?
Not to say punch, but they will disturb, but not as him punching friends very hard.
Okay. But since you've got 30 other students, and you say that some of the 30 will punch apparently playfully, do all 30 punch playfully, or is only some who punch playfully?
From what I observed, he is the only one punching, but there's also one boy quite naughty, but he wasn't punching anyone, just naughty, being naughty.
Okay, all right. Now this boy, number 1, can he talk?
Of course, he's very bright.
Bright children can cause problems like me. Okay, tell the teacher. All right, remember I went and stood up and I told the trainee teacher wrong. Grammar was wrong, telling you. Now, let me think. This boy, how is his schoolwork?
I only teach him art lesson. I'm not sure about the other work, but I heard from the other teacher that he is very good in maths.
Okay. You didn't hear anything about you didn't hear about other subjects?
For English, I also asked his English teacher, and he said that he would just sleep in his class.
In English?
Yep.
Okay. Your child actually, all right, may be high level autistic, because he likes maths very much. Okay, because children with autism, usually the boys is actually maths, then everything else they don't bother on. You have kids like that. Okay, so because once you know the boy can do maths, that means she's not so-called stupid, right? But he puts his head on the table when it comes to English, so he's maybe not be interested in that. And you have observed him punching and all. Okay, do you know whether he punches children while having other classes?
I'm not sure about punching others, but he will kind of make nuisance to the others.
He will also be a nuisance in all classes.
Yeah, so the reason why he punches the child, I ask, is because the other children disturbed him first. And then he is angry, perhaps, and then he punched the other kid. But then the story that he told his mother, I'm not sure how, and his mother doesn't believe that. Yeah.
Okay. Actually, it is more difficult to get parents of a child who is apparently normal and can do well in certain subjects. More difficult to convince them. If a child really can't do anything, it's a different story. Okay. One thing, just to let everybody know, when you have a child that has some problem in your class, please go and ask the other teachers, other subject teachers, whether it's, you want to check whether it's only in your class, or it's in every class, or it's in some classes. That will give you some clues. Okay. Next, does he have a brother or sister?
He's the only kid in the family.
That's even more difficult. You know why? Only children get what they want, so they tend to be spoiled. I am an only child, but of course I'm not spoiled. All right. Now, speak to your other teachers. Then after that, if they all agree that he disturbs his friends, you need to get the class teacher involved and to sort of like all of the teachers must follow the same class rules. Okay, all of you must follow the same. If not, he will play. He will, play around with. And then the next thing is you need to teach him. Okay, appropriate behavior. So a bit like Joshua's a student, but yours is older. Okay, I find that, okay, if you teach everybody as a group, okay, let's talk about behavior. Then do this, and all that. So you remember I showed the slide just now. Children cannot what? They cannot hurt physically. They cannot hurt what? Verbally, right? Then they cannot destroy property. Oh yeah, they cannot hurt themselves. So your student here now is hurting others. So you go through that, okay? After you can get the PowerPoint, you go do that. Everybody follows that. And then this boy needs some attention. Okay, so it will be a good idea that in every class the teachers go, okay, to talk to him, just to ask how are things and all. Make it a bit not so scary, okay. If you all know what he likes, say he likes football, okay, maybe you all can do a little project with him on football. All right. But the important thing is you tell the whole class cannot punch and all that, right? So if one child comes and punches you or wants to punch you, please come and tell the teacher. You see how that works? If not, you contact me again.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
May has a child who always looks out the window. Okay? He doesn't like noise. Okay, and he plays with his penis. Okay, how old is this child? Sorry, I need to know how old the child is.
6 years old.
Your child has special needs, huh? You know why?
I think,
he fears full of lightning and loud noises. Okay? Does he look at you? Does he look at people in the face, at their eyes, or always looking away?
not really, not really. He always looked in somewhere else.
Okay. Not looking at people, looking somewhere else could be a sign of autism. Not liking noise, all right, is another problem. This part of sensory, okay, lightning and all that. playing with the penis, usually you know what happens is again sensory, because they feel a stimulation. Okay, so you see what's happening is this child, May, he doesn't play with the other children, does he?
Not really. Not really.
Does he talk?
He talks, yes. But no eye contact.
Okay. Where are you from, May?
From PJ, Tadika. From Tadika.
Yeah. Can you contact me? I need to go and find some KL link for you. Okay,
Yeah.
someone in KL you can go to. I'll send
Yeah,
the, send the parents to.
Okay.
He appears to have some. He appears to have some aspects of autism, so he will need to have some sort of therapy, and definitely he needs to learn appropriate behavior. So playing with private parts is not appropriate behavior, but don't go and scream and yell at him, because he doesn't know it's wrong.
Yeah, okay? But according to what I did speak to the mom said he's exploring, his curiosity.
Yeah, so what you can do when he does that is you give him something else to do. If he has nothing else to do, he'll probably. So you give him, you could observe him, you give him something else to do, something that he likes, something that will attract his attention.
Okay.
Okay. Sometimes girls also do this. All right.
Thanks.
Welcome. How do we ensure other children are not neglected when we give special or extra attention? Yours is usually what happens is very important. If you're going to start with, say, some songs and all that, and this child also will follow, then no problem. Do that first. Then, all right, think of something that it will engage this child, special child, give the work there. Then you are teaching the others and giving them work. Then you turn back here. You can train the children, okay? You can actually train the children to actually sit down and wait for you. So what happens is, I'm into cheap and good, Pang, Lang, and Zhang. Working with NGO means no money, so you need to be smart. Okay, so just assume that this is a bottle. You know the water bottle, 500 ml? Older children, you can use the 1 liter bottle. All right, so what you do then is go and buy some cheap oil or recycled oil. Go and get, what's that called? You know, the glitter powder. Okay, now you pour the oil in, okay? You pour the oil in and then pour water in. So you're going to have oil on top, water at the bottom. By the way, your water, you can actually dye it with food coloring, so there's color. Throw the glitter inside. Now, when you shake this whole thing, okay, you shake it, all right, because of the oil, the glitter will settle to the bottom, come down very slowly. Okay, so you can go and practice. So then what happens is, you want to see how long it takes. Then what you do is, when you want a child to wait, especially if they're young children in kindergarten or even special children, you go and shake that and you tell the child to sit down here with this book, make a storybook or puzzle book, okay, until the glitter, all the glitter settles at the bottom of the bottle. Actually, it acts like a timer, but because of the glitter, it looks interesting. Right? You can go and find little toys, small things, and put it in. All right, to make it interesting. Okay, so I repeat, come in. If you do an activity, everyone does, including a special boy. Very good. Then give the special boy something to do, puzzle or a very colorful book, and then shake. If you don't want to do this, okay, or if your child not interested in the glitter bottle, you may want to have a small timer for him. Okay, a small timer. Then you teach, then you come back. Then when he's doing, okay, now, all right, you do this. Okay, I will go to the children and then shake, shake, shake. I will come back. Okay. You can, Deborah and the other teachers, you can actually go online and look for glitter bottles, I think we call. Wait, let me check. Okay, let me see. Where is this? Glitter bottles means bottles of glitter. Now I was going to think about it. Yeah. Okay, I got it. I remember a sensory bottle, my dear. Okay, they are called sensory bottles.
Okay, that sounds interesting. I will give that a try.
Okay, good. Wait, I will put the link
that
in.
That means that child would be doing something different from the rest of the class.
Yes. So you just remember this, special children, the easiest way, okay, I've just sent in a link, sensory. The easiest way to deal with them is to find out what their interests are, okay, and work with them using that. So then you will have a happy child, and a happy child will has something that interests him or her, they will focus there, then you can go and teach the other children. One thing that you do not do, like for example, you get a child who only eats, let's say, only eats, hard-boiled egg and bread with butter. Okay? You do not try immediately to expand his diet, because that is something that the parents have been trying to deal with for what, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, pun dia tak boleh buat kan? Okay? Suddenly you try to do it from, when he steps in your class, cannot. And what's going to happen is that you're going to have a very poor relationship with this child. See your face, he remembers you were trying to take away his hard-boiled egg. Okay, so you leave it, because you know why? If the fellow is 5 years old and he survived on this for 5 years, another 3 months is not going to kill him, but it may kill you. All right, you're fighting with him, so leave it. Whatever, don't make everything a battle. You will figure out what actually is really something must do now. Children poking others with pencils and all that, I think it's something you must deal with now. Yeah. Okay, where is the next? Let me see. Let me go back up again. Okay. Si Seng, not many special children can be fully integrated into a typical class. I have taught an autistic child who couldn't fully follow my lessons. Yeah. He used to just copy the questions and copy other answers. She would fail most of the subjects. Do you think it's better for her to join a vocational school where she learns practical vocational skills rather than in a typical school? Is she in a government school or private school?
Government. She's in Form 1 this year.
Can you find out from the Jabatan Pendidikan which are the schools that have a special needs unit inside the school? For example, Jelutong, Sekolah Menengah Jelutong in Penang, they have actually literally 3 blocks for regular children, and then 1 block is just special needs. And what they have done actually is the Ministry of Education. This started, of course, it started, and then everyone got what do you call that? All got jammed up with COVID. So I went there. So they have built nice kitchen for the children to work, to teach them to do, what do you call that? To do baking and all. And yes, I agree, she should actually go to another school. Probably the parents cannot afford And there are very few private schools, all right, who give this kind of training. We have in Penang, but it's for older children. That means must be at least Form 4, Form 5 until the 20s. So try to get her transferred. And I want to share something with all of you, which will be useful if you are teaching children with special needs. I can teach children with special needs baking, even though they cannot read very well. Okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so how do I teach the child baking? Well, I use a special type of recipe. Let me show it to you. Okay. Right. Let me come back here to share screen. Yes. So please go online and cari picture recipe. Let me move a bit. Okay. These are picture recipes. Okay, using the pictures, okay, I teach them. So you notice these at the top here are step by step, so they can follow. Okay, if your children don't even know the different kitchen utensils, you can have another poster with pictures of the wok lah, okay, the measuring cup and all that, so that they look at it, then they know what it is, and then they can teach. I was asked by the sekolah apa ni? It's a horrible name, you know, the school. It's a horrible name because yes, sekolah terencak akal. Okay, sekolah terencak akal. So in Penang, so the teachers came for a talk of mine. They came up to see me. They said, because I taught behavior management, then they said that they're having trouble teaching the kids because what happened was that, like I said, a few years ago, the Ministry of Education changed the curriculum slightly to include all these kind of skills. So the teacher said, I teach 5 times or so. I tell them 5 times or so, they cannot remember how to go and bake the muffin. I taught her this picture recipe. Okay. So I taught them picture recipe. They went back, right? They used it. It worked. Okay. So your picture recipe, I'm sorry, somebody can be heard on the phone. Thank you. So using this picture recipe idea, you can do it for other things. Example, you want to teach science, you want them to do an experiment, you can do the same thing. Okay. Picture recipes don't just work for children with special needs, it also works for younger children. Okay. Let me have a look. Chen Li Wan. Yeah, I agree. You need to train his behavior, and then you need to learn their learning styles. The children with special needs, what we want them to learn actually is life skills. Okay, life skills, so they can manage their lives as individually as possible. So if you cannot teach them division and multiplication, don't panic. They won't die without division and multiplication. They may die if they don't know how to count money. Correct? You know, they can't go out to buy things, okay? So you need to teach them money. Okay? You got to use real money, yeah? Okay. Then the other thing, and another thing is this. You need to teach them enough basic literacy, how to write their name, their address. Okay? Like, you know, fill in a simple form. You need to teach them basic literacy enough for them to use an ATM machine. So we need for life skills. Okay, that's what you focus on. Right, let me see.
It is 5 o'clock. I think we have time just for one more question.
Wait. I like the fact that there's so many comments by others. Great. I like punching. Okay, any question I haven't answered yet? Oh, there's some questions from the Zoom registration. How to calm down an autistic youth about 16 years old yelling whenever he feels like to do. 2, the main focus should be on the special child or the normal child. The ratio being checked. Okay, right. The child, the teenager who keeps yelling, he has not been taught how to manage frustration and control himself. Okay, and you need to find out why he's yelling. What is it that makes him unhappy? Of course, he's not yelling because he's happy. Why is it? What is it that makes him unhappy? Try that. So, okay, he doesn't. You find out, he doesn't like it. All right, when he is told to turn down the volume on the songs. Maybe he's playing it from a computer, playing it from a phone. Okay? He gets upset because he likes sound. And then you ask him to turn down, he gets angry. What can you do about it? You can do it. One, okay, is guna apa? Headphones are. Okay. And what's another thing to do? The other thing we'll do will be this. All right. One is headphones. Okay. Another thing to do is this, is that the family agrees that he can play music between what time to what time. He can play it loudly. Okay. Other times cannot. You just have to use his earphones. Another way of once you've done that, another way to what you can do, you can help him with is teach him what to say when he is upset that he cannot play the music loudly. Okay? Because he's yelling is because he doesn't know what to say. Teach him what to say. I am, okay, so you can teach him to, I like listening to loud music. I don't like it when, okay, XYZ tells me to switch it off or turn it softly. Okay, so then after that, so what, okay, I am upset. I want to listen to music. Then tell him, what can he do? I can listen to the earphones. What else? I can go and do something else, then come back and listen. Now, this child, this teenager, it will also be helpful to do this. Where the computer is, where he listens to music, on the wall, you put pictures of what he can do. One is, another one is go and do something else. Then another one is you put a clock there, means what time he can listen. So what will happen is that when he screams and yells, at first you have to point to him, which one? After a while, he will look at it and he will be able to manage himself better. Okay?
Yeah. Okay, Datit, are you going to show your contact number or do we type in the chat box?
I'll type it in the chat if I can find my chat. Oh, okay, here. Then I will be here for another up to half an hour if people want to chat with me.
And people who need to go, please feel free to go because we said that it is from 2:30 to 5 p.m. But those who have some more questions,
to sit here until I leave.
So the rest, if you have questions and you want to ask Datin, you're most welcome to stay on. But we will definitely stop at 5:30.
Yes. Okay.
So do remember to fill in the feedback form.
If we run another workshop on special children, any particular topics that you would like, either you tell us or you type it in the chat. Okay. Any other special needs topics that you'll be interested to learn? Okay, behavior control, that is partly in the second PowerPoint I'm going to send. Okay. Where is the handle misbehavior? Yeah. Actually, behavior management is one textbook, one subject in England and America.
Hi, Datin.
Yes.
I'm Evelyn here.
Yes, Evelyn.
I've got another question.
Sure.
I've got a student who is 7 years old. And she likes to complain about her classmates being noisy. Actually, there's no, most of the time they are not so noisy, and sometimes they are quite quiet also. She'll complain. I was wondering if she complained because that is one of the excuses that he can think of to give me, as she doesn't want to complete her work, or because she can listen to, noise better than us, perhaps.
Right. One thing is, there are some children who are very sensitive to noise. Remember, they have a sensory problem. It's not just the autistic or sensory problem. Okay. So she actually may have those very sharp hearing. What we used to do overseas was that we will give them a special type of earplug. So that it cuts down the sound, but she can still hear. Okay. Then another thing is whether or not she keeps coming to complain, either because she wants attention from you. Okay.
All right.
She wants attention from you, or maybe there's some, like I said, the problem, she has a very sensitive hearing. So what you can do is, all right, you need to, she comes to you to complain, you need to change it a little bit. Okay. So you, how old? 7 or 8?
7 years old. Standard one.
Good in studies? Good in studies?
Average, I would say.
Okay. One thing you could do is you get a piece of paper with boxes. Okay. For that lesson. So maybe you start with every 10 minutes. And then you must write the time there and then the box. So box 1, first 10 minutes, no sound, she leaves it empty, or she just puts an X. Box 2 also no sound, X. Box 3, there is noise, so she will tick it. You tell her to tick it, and then when the class is about over, then only she comes to you with one piece of paper.
All right.
Okay. Then you see what you're doing is that you are controlling how often she comes to complain. So in the end, maybe in the beginning, maybe halfway you let, okay, half the class, then you ask her to go there, and then she'll tell you. Then after that, you move it into once, okay, at the end of class.
Okay. Right? Then one more thing to this girl is she will roll her eyes, no matter to the teacher or to the parents. Is it a behavioral problem already instead of the hearing problem?
No. Does she always roll her eyes even at her classmates? Then it's a habit.
To her classmate, if she's not happy with her classmate, she will hit them.
Oh, this child also hits other children.
Yes.
In your class, she hits children. What about other subjects?
Some subjects she will, but she won't do it in the class teacher's class.
Pandai pun dia?
Yes.
Now we're getting a very interesting, looks like whether it's This child is actually manipulating you.
Ah, I see.
Hey, they can, you know. You be very careful. Children can be manipulated. Yeah. So they're not such angels. Okay, for this girl, unfortunately, the eye rolling thing, if she's doing it to the parents and the parents don't comment about it, okay, it's going to be difficult. But what you can do is this. You can tell her, you know, okay, it's such a pity you roll your eyes like that. All right? You are a very lovely girl, but when you roll your eyes like that, you look like a gremlin or something. Aha. Because usually girls are very what? Very sensitive about prettiness. You don't use the word pretty, you don't use the word beautiful. All right? You use some other word. You're so lovely, Wudu. You see whether that works.
Okay.
Okay, so sometimes we need to be a bit very smart. We cannot go in by the front door, you have to go in by the side door. You can't go in by the side door, please go in by the window. No use chimney because we don't have chimneys in Malaysia. And then remember, there's more than one chimney. Oh, sorry, there's more than one window to go in. So you got to go and
Cari jalan.
You have to find your way.
Thanks for sharing. Thank you very much.
Sure. Other question?
Yeah,
yes.
I got a question here.
Yeah.
I'm Is there any homeschooling curriculum that you can recommend? Because like I have a child with autism. He's 11 now. 11. Yeah. So I did send him to a normal, typical kindergarten before for a few days, but he came back really. It was a bad experience for him. So since then, I homeschool him. So but I feel that I don't really have a systematic kind of curriculum. I do what we call that a home set of skills, some of these table tasks, and gross motor training.
Okay, that's good.
I think in terms of gross motor, he's quite good. Because I used to bring him out for outing every day, so he's quite good on that. But when you ask him to sit down and flash in on words and things like that, I find it very difficult to teach him. I teach him numbers also is quite difficult. He couldn't grasp the meaning of numbers. You know, as you say that just now, you need to teach them a basic number skills so that they can know counting. You know, so to me that is the challenge. So I feel, I need a kind of guide or curriculum for homeschooling.
Can I just confirm your son is 11?
Yeah.
Has not been to school?
Yeah, no.
Okay. And had a bad experience in kindergarten?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
So, life skills, you'll be teaching him, yeah? Life skills?
Yeah, correct.
So he bathed on his own. He knows how to how to clear the table and wash the dishes and all that.
Yeah, I'm training him. He can actually partially wash his own dishes.
Very good. Okay, that's good then.
Hang the clothes, dry the clothes, partially with some guidance and help. Partially bathe himself, brush his teeth, things like that.
Okay, very good. You are saying partially brush teeth and bathe. Is it because he cannot remember the steps or he doesn't want to do it?
Sometimes he'll skip the steps, so I have to be there to guide him. I did try putting packs beside the shower. At the beginning, he looked
just there to help him follow step by step.
At the beginning, he looked at it, and then, but after a while, maybe you do not know the sequences. How do we look at it? Because there are about 9 pictures there.
Why don't you try again, but this time get new pictures, so it looks like something new. But this time, what you do is you put arrow. So part 1, arrow, part 2, arrow. So all right, then it will help him. No use putting numbers now because you said he doesn't know numbers yet. Yeah, so put arrows.
Yeah, he doesn't know numbers.
Okay. Is he able to dress himself? Take his own clothes from the drawer and dress himself?
Yes, I need to just verbally guide him.
Okay. What you then do now is you go and do your pictures and arrows again.
Yeah.
Okay. And put it somewhere near the drawers or put it on the drawer. Picture and arrow. So he will follow that.
Okay. Step
Okay.
by step now. Okay.
Usually
So-
children, if they keep doing it, all right, after some time, they should be able to sort of like, record it like in their brain, they can remember. But I tell, if you can contact me directly on WhatsApp or just call me, then I will discuss with you further. But if your child hasn't gone to kindergarten and all that, what we need to do is to start from that level. But I can actually give you some ideas of how to help you.
Okay.
And by the way, where are you from? From Penang or elsewhere?
Yeah, Bukit Batajam, Penang.
Or then maybe it's possible that we can use, I can actually get some materials that you can use of them. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, Dati.
Welcome. Anyone else?
Yeah, Datin.
Yeah.
We have this boy. I just not put in a question, but I think you have too many questions there to answer. We have this very hyperactive boy. He's 4 years old who came to the kindy. Our kindy is in the kampong, in the rural area of Sarawak, outside Kuching. So the parents are divorced, and so he comes in very, very active. He cannot sit still, and he throws tantrums. He snatches other people's toys and pencils. So when he is there, the teacher has to keep all the pencils, and only give one each. So, and then lately he throws tantrums. So the teacher is asking me, how do you calm him down? Because he likes to run out of the classroom. We only got 2 classes. So when he runs up, it leads on to a big field because it's in the kampong, you see. So it's not a very big school, only got 2 small classes. So he runs in and out, and the teachers are very tired looking. So because of that, we decided that he comes to school and he goes home at around 10 after the recess, after we give them a simple meal, porridge and all that, he goes home, because or else it's very disruptive and it's affecting all the other children. So the grandma is looking after him. The mother is working in KL. The grandma is trying her best to teach him also. So then the teacher says that he throws tantrums. So when he can't get what he wants, he's very active in class. So how would you help this child? He cannot go to they can't afford to go to a proper, expensive kindy or what. And we really don't know what to do. And we want to just help. But again, all the teachers are not been trained to teach, kids with special needs.
Okay.
So what is the best way?
Well, if you can look at it positively, you can tell your students they're getting a lot of exercise. You tell your teachers they're getting a lot of exercise.
Yeah.
If I tell them that, they'll be itching to slap me, All right. Now, just want to ask a question which anyone can answer. Why do you think this 4-year-old boy throws tantrums? And he runs around, could be hyperactive. He needs to, he has a lot of energy. He needs to, release. I actually had an 8-year-old boy last time when I was in an international school. The father didn't want the child to take medicine. The teachers were hopping mad with the child, almost like yours, but didn't run out of the classroom. So in the end, I told the father, either you take the child away because we're not helping them. The child is not learning, and my teachers are upset, and the other children's learning is also affected. So I said, and you don't want him to take medicine. Okay, the last chance, you come early to school, say at 7:30, and you and your son go and run around the football field a few times. Then you, get him to change, to wash up and change in the bathroom. Guess what? Of course, the father thanked me, A few weeks later, you know why? He tagged me because I lost weight. I said, oh, very good. So you see, so your teachers also lost weight. So he lost weight. But the interesting thing really was the child. Okay, he could sit in classes up to break time, no problem. Okay, you know why? The energy is gone. Then after that, before he comes to class, all right, there's a trampoline. He goes and jumps, and then he comes in. So quite okay. All right. Okay, then we have school up to about 3 o'clock. Then after lunch, he goes and runs around the gym, the hall. It worked. So why not you get him to do supervised running at certain times? The children can do as well. Okay. And then the other thing you can do is when this child will run around when he cannot focus. So one way is you all do activities where you have to walk around. Example, I will put or get my teachers to put, you know, these hoopla hoops on the ground. Okay, inside each hoopla hoop, all right, it's a card, a certain color, red, blue, green, yellow. Then the children are told, go and find things which are that color and put it in. So they go all around. Then they come down. Okay. Then then after that, you tell them this, let's see how fast you can put all the things back. You must be smart, not you are finished, man. You have to pick up everything. So always make clearing up into a game for the children. Okay. Then next thing to do is in class, when your class is running, call him up to do something. Can you please hand out the books? Okay. All right. Can you go and take this and give it to the teacher next time? So you get him like active. That helps. Then there are something called fidget toys. Okay. I will type in so that you can see FIDGET, fidget toys.
Fidget toys.
Okay. Fidgeting is like this. You know, you cannot move. You cannot stand still. Okay. So fidget toys. All right. The Americans went and what's the word called? Invented it. You need to give the children something to do with their fingers. When their fingers, their fingers are involved in something, right? Then they will be able to concentrate better. And in fact, I had a very interesting student. Year 3 girl, okay? She will just walk around the class, go out and all that, drive, and then cannot finish the work all right? She'll what do you call that? She can actually copy sentences from the board and leave out some words and sentences. Okay. So I figured out she was ADHD. So I asked her, why do you walk around? Okay. Okay. You are sitting nicely, then you walk around. And then after that, you sit down again. Why are you doing that? Because after I sit for a while, my legs start to feel funny. Like there's electricity running up and down my leg. So to stop the electricity, I have to walk around.
But this boy cannot really communicate. He cannot really talk.
Is it because there is a disability, or is the delay due to home, not teaching him? Then what is something you have to figure out? So sorry. So that girl who had the electricity running up and down her legs, what I did was at the back of the class, we had extra table. Okay. Then I put something like a plastic tray. I turn it upside down so it becomes like it's like a step, so it's higher. So whenever she felt like cannot sit down anymore, the electricity is running, she will take her book and pencils and go and stand at the back and write and do the work. And then she'll be doing moving around like that, but the work is done.
Okay.
And then what has happened now is that now she's in Form 2. when the children reach teenage years, if it's they're hyperactive, it will go down. She can sit down now. Okay, so this child is not being naughty. There was actually a physical sensation. So your child, you're saying now that he doesn't speak. So you see, another thing is this: he has temper tantrums and tantrums and all that. Maybe because he cannot communicate.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, maybe.
So you can work out with your teachers what are some of the most important things that a child should be able to communicate. Okay, then look for pictures or something that you can use, and then you teach the whole class and then this boy. And then on his table or on the wall right next to him, you've actually got some of those up there. So whenever he wants something or says something, he just points to his table or to the wall next to him. That may help.
So you need to have a lot of pictures on the wall.
So that he can use the wall to communicate.
Okay.
Okay. You may need to categorize it. So for example, on a piece of red paper, you put some of the pictures there, and these are the most important. Then the next, okay, that to do with food, it's all under green, on a green sheet of paper. That will help. If it's toys, then it's on a blue sheet of paper. That will be easier.
Okay.
Okay, and then you can start asking him, right, what do you want? Can you tell me? Use the pictures to tell me. Then when he actually points to it, you say, oh, you want this? Very good. You see, you use the pictures to talk to me and to talk to your friends.
Okay. Can try that out.
Okay. Anything, you can just contact me.
Thank you very much.
I will be in where? India. Where are we in November?
Cebu.
Yeah, I'll be in Cebu for a teachers conference in November. If you want to meet up.
Yeah, Kuching is quite far from me, from
I know,
Cebu.
exactly. Yeah. So in case you are going for that, then we'll meet up. Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
All right. Are there other questions?
Final question. Anybody with one last question?
May ask for website assessment form. What assessment form is this?
To assess whether the child, which area we need to look into to advise the parents.
Oh, 1 minute.
Yeah, thank you.
Let me think what you want. And then I just realized that my fidget toys, I didn't actually respond to you all. 1 minute, everyone in meeting. Okay, these are the fidget toys. So coming back to that young man. So the fidget toys is something that he can play with. Now, have you all come across those balls that you can squeeze on? That is one fidget toy. Then you can buy these kind of fidget toys quite cheaply on Lazada. So some of them are things that you have to do what do you call that? Manipulate with your fingers. Okay. And the one that they're going crazy over is, I can't remember what the name is. Pop, P-O-P. It's plastic, and then when you there are a lot of like buttons, when you press it, it goes down. And then you turn it to the other round and press it back, then you pop, you come up. Children like that very much. So they can use that also. Another reason for getting that pop thing is that it actually helps the children to strengthen their fingers. Yeah. Okay, pop. I found it, right? Yes. Let me share this. Yang Ni, have you all seen before? Teachers?
Yes.
Have you all seen this before?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
these are the pop
Love it
quiz.
very much.
The children like it very much, right? So what you can do is you can use it as a motivator. When you finish, then you can play with this. Another motivator is this. All right, the person who finishes the work correctly, okay, and hands up, and is the first to hand to me, all right, gets to choose first. Very important to know. Gets to choose first. So if the child likes the unicorn, they finish, then they grab the unicorn first. I got all sorts of techniques on, don't worry. May, you let me go and look for it later, then I will, I tell you what you do, can you text me? Or, no, forget that. I will send
WhatsApp you?
Rosalind, I will send it to Rosalind so she can send it to everybody, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So your fidget toy can help with, so you tell the child that if he sits down, you will give the fidget toy, okay?
Okay.
Then another thing that you can do is you tell the child something that he has to do. Then after that, he will get the fidget toy, the reward. Can be used in many ways. Okay.
Okay.
How about the assessment form?
I will send it to Rosalind later to send to them.
Okay, okay. All right. Can we, I think we better end the session.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your enthusiasm, your passion in wanting to learn. And Datin, thank you so much. It's been truly an informative, practical, and relevant session for all of us. And really, we want, on behalf of all the participants who attended today, we just want to say thank you very much. Okay, we will meet you all again at another webinar. You will be kept informed. So
Thank you very much.
Have a blessed weekend, everybody.
God bless.
God bless. Bye.